Torx bits, T25, to get off one of the solenoids. Oh, I didn't want to show you the hard part. Getting the servo back in ain't easy. There's a steel gasket, and it would be nice if you could hold the steel gasket up here without having it attached to the cover, because you could crunch it. It's got to get past. There's a slide valve body thingamajiggy in here. There's a little bump on the valve body, and you got to get past that. Then you got to get past this boss here with the cover, and you can't just lift the cover on because the piston's hanging down. So let me tell you, you got to push that servo up against the springs and pirouette the cover in there, and I pinched my finger and yowie, I got it on. So I'm going to tighten up the bolts, put the pipe back in, the oil transfer pipe, and one of the solenoids that's hanging right there, and the crud on top of the cross member. There's a screen in there. I once flushed those on CCW's Acura that we had all those years ago. I still get stuff in the mail from that dealership in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, where I bought it for $127.50. And I sold the tires on it. It had 4 new tires that weren't matched, and they were all seasoned, so I sold them to a guy in an S10 pickup, and that guy was Fruit Loops. That's how we met. Buying rims from Mrs. CW's Accord. Found an Acura. The rims are nicer on the Acura. And that's how we met. Otherwise, probably would have never met. Never know. I'm going to tighten the crap out of those. I'm going to put the solenoid back in after I give it a quick spray of carb cleaner. And then I could take the force motor out, but I'm not going to bother. That's the main pressure solenoid. Yep, electronically controlled. Put the pipe back in, goes under there, goes under there, and goes in there. I'm going to put the pan back on and spray some more fluid film, change that front wheel bearing, and yada yada yada. Yep. Toyota RAV4. That's pretty sick. Noisy engine. So that's what I'm going to do. That's back on. It's tough. Not so easy to get that off. Gotta have strong arms, and I'm getting old. I told Mrs. CW I'm getting a hoist in the shop this winter. Right over there. Oh, okay. I'll check in on it. It's oil pan time. Yeah, you better get out of here, you criminals. Let me see that vicious dog. Here, Bear. Hey, Bear. You're vicious. The police told me you were. Yeah, right. All right, what are we doing here? We're putting the rigid nylon oil pan gasket back on. And I didn't want to go uptown and get a transmission filter and gasket for $14. I went to the friendly local auto parts and I bought a Hastings made in USA filter for $35. That's all the filter is. Piece of tin and a little piece of filter material. $35. And I could have bought it from Taiwan at the auto parts store way uptown. Waste a half an hour for $14. 14 or 35 with no gas. So one thing I found kind of interesting is that there was an Allen plug in one of the bolt holes. I'm unscrewing it right now in the early evening dusk. What the heck is an Allen plug doing in a bolt hole? Huh. I got a couple of spare bolts. I guess I'll throw those in. So time to put the oil pan on. You can watch if you want. Text message. And the rest is pretty boring. Just gonna bolt up the pan, keep wiping the oil off my gloves. I got multiple layers on of these Adena, A-D-E-N-N-A, Adena, A-D-E-N-N-A, Adena shadow gloves. They're nothing special. I got multiple layers on. Can't see it, but I got 4 of them on, so as they rip I could just peel them off. Alright, put the shifter back on, and then I'm going to change that wheel bearing. Get to work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarts, 6 liters, and I took out 3, 6, 7.
Yeah, there should be parking in the front now, isn't there?
Let's go look at that shiny 2-wheel drive truck. I know. I'm just going to look at all the trim you got, all the chrome, all the bling.
Everything my wife liked chrome, so she'd pick it out and I'd put it on.
Then why'd she end up with a dull guy like you?
She just liked chrome.
Never winter driven.
Yep.
Beautiful. How many miles on this baby?
I think I just turned 70 some.
Yeah, what year is it?
74.
Gotta get a little bit of oil. Gotta get a little bit of oil on those hinges.
Yeah,
That'd be going.
This was her truck.
Beautiful.
I got a 02 two-wheel drive and an 08 four-wheel drive. That's going to hopefully New Hampshire this weekend or next weekend.
Cadillac. All right, she looks shiny. She's shiny. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, back to work. Let's crank this baby up. Change the oil, change the transmission fluid. Hope I didn't forget any parts. Guess we'll find out in a second. I got no alternator. I did. All right, let's crank this baby up. Glow plugs. Wish that light would be separate. Let's see what happens. Oops. What was that big noise? Did I forget something? I did. That's just the usual rough running 7-cylinder. Yeah, I did. Nothing leaking. Nothing leaking. It's just our usual rough running bad head gasket. I got no water in it, so I can't let it run long. There's no antifreeze in it, so I gotta turn it off. Fill it up with water and flush it so I can put that head gasket magic in. Just want to check for leaks. Can't let it run, I got no water in it. Good. Nothing leaking. Yeah, can't let it run. No antifreeze. Nothing. Drain that side of the block.